Haven't we all been in a situation where we're talking to someone and it sounds like they're not speaking the same language? Just like Charlie Brown's teacher. Of course, everyone's been there. My name's Ryan Bailey, and I'm here to discuss the five most important points to follow in communication. That would include being aware, verbal and nonverbal cues, listening and responding, and adapting in a conversation. I just have a quick video to show you guys. If you're not familiar with Charlie Brown's teacher, this is kind of what she sounds like. Here you go.
Yes, ma'am. We were playing hangman. Studying?
That's right. She's not always easy to understand. You can't even really decipher what she's got going on there. But that's just a quick representation. To get started today, I'm just going to open with awareness. Awareness in a conversation, you always want to be thinking about what's going on, what they're saying to you. Get that going in your mind, because this leads up into all our following points here. You want to be formulating questions, thinking. Tracy Brower, she's from Forbes. She wrote this in 2023 in August, just a couple months ago. She said, dynamic awareness is both an awareness of yourself as well as an awareness of the other person. While you want to be thinking about yourself, you also want to be thinking about the other person. You want to be thinking about what kind of questions you can ask. Are you asking good questions? Be aware of what is coming in the situation or conversation that you're talking in. This leads into our second and third points here. They kind of intertwine. They both connect back to awareness. All of these do. It would include verbal and nonverbal cues. Verbal cues is when somebody says, do not close the door, I don't have my keys. And you go and close that door, well, now they're locked out because you didn't pay attention. You weren't aware of the verbal cues. You weren't using your head. Those are really important to pay attention to. Always be thinking about something like that. But just like verbal cues are important, nonverbal cues are important. If you're sitting there talking to somebody and they just got that deer in the headlights look, very confused, have no idea what you're talking about, you want to spice things up. Get them intrigued. Find something that they like talking about to get to your agenda. Fulfill that while also fulfilling their agenda. If you're trying to find answers, help them be intrigued, if that makes sense there. Mary Emerson, she's a Harvard professor. She has a PhD in communications. She also wrote this in August of 2023. She said, nonverbal cues can have between 65 and 93% more impact than the spoken word. Now, I would say that is a very impactful statistic there. Communication is very important. It's always good to have candid conversations. You can't do that without nonverbal cues. This leads into my next points. Listening and responding. You always want to be listening in a conversation. That saying, they say, have your ears turned on. Be paying attention. Be aware of the verbal and nonverbal cues they're having. Be listening to what they're saying, thinking about what they might be saying next, and also be formulating a response. Make your response very, very formulated to what they have going on. Make sure it relates. It's very relatable to the topic, and it doesn't kind of go off course there. You want to be always paying attention. Barbara Bender, she said this in 2001 in a study she did of old people. She did quite a few studies. This is also in our Jackson State Library. Matter of fact, any of you can go and read this. She says, above all, it is listening acceptingly. Sometimes hearing emotion-laden words leads to gut reactions. These must be controlled until the full story is heard. This just goes to show how important listening is and how you respond. Those gut-wrenching reactions that kind of come out of nowhere from the pit of your heart. Make sure you let them finish a conversation. It always has two sides there, but everyone wants to have equal time talking, responding, listening. That also leads into my last and final point, adapting. Now, if you're using all your cues here, awareness, nonverbal and verbal cues, listening and responding, you're going to have to adapt in a conversation. Not every conversation is going to be perfect. It's not going to go as smooth. So, in a good and candid conversation, a car might go by and be really loud, kind of startle things up. There might be a foul odor in the air, just kind of takes somebody by surprise. So, it is always important for a person to be able to adapt in a conversation. Make sure you can fulfill what you're there to talk about, or if you're just rambling off, it's very important for somebody to follow this guide of the 5 main points of communication. And I hope with this information, one will be able to navigate a way through the next Charlie Brown teacher they run into. Thank you all. My name is Ryan. I hope you all have a blessed day.